Now, ladies, let me get real with you for a minute, because too many women out here don't understand the power of holding something back. I'm talking about that first keynote I always tell women about. Don't over-explain yourself. Don't sit there spilling every thought in your head, every detail of your day, or every little feeling you have, hoping that somehow by telling him everything, he's going to fall deeper in love with you. Let me tell you something he won't. A man doesn't need to know everything all at once, and too much information can actually push him away without you even realizing it. You see, women have this habit. They think if they explain too little, he won't understand them. But let me tell you, over-explaining is not the answer. Over-explaining kills attraction. It kills mystery. It makes you ordinary when you could be unforgettable. See, men by nature are hunters. They are wired to chase, to pursue, to figure things out. When you over-explain yourself, you take away the thrill of the chase. You take away that excitement that keeps him curious about you. And when a man isn't curious, when he feels like he's already got the whole map to your heart and mind, he stops trying. And that's when interest fades. That's when he starts taking you for granted, assuming you're going to always be there, ready to answer every question, ready to explain every little thing. And let me tell you, ladies, we don't want that. We want him thinking about us when we're not around. We want him wondering what we're doing, who we're talking to. And while we always seem to have that spark, he can't quite touch. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, Steve, I want him to understand me. I want him to know what I'm thinking and feeling. I hear you. I do. But there's a difference between letting him in and giving him a full autobiography in one sitting. Let me break it down for you. You don't have to explain every emotion you feel. You don't have to justify why you're upset, why you're happy, why you're mad, or why you said what you said. You don't have to rationalize your choices, your decisions, or your reactions all the time. Men don't need a manual for your heart. They need to feel it, experience it, and yes, figure a little of it out for themselves. Think about it like this. If every time he asks you a question, you unload everything, your past, your feelings, your insecurities, he's going to get overwhelmed. And when a man is overwhelmed, he either checks out or he loses focus. But if you give just enough information to satisfy him for the moment and keep him intrigued, he's going to come back for more. He's going to chase. He's going to want to know more about you because you didn't just hand it all over. You created curiosity. You created intrigue. And curiosity, ladies, is a powerful thing in love and attraction. It's what keeps a man interested, thinking, and yes, even a little obsessed with you. Let me tell you another thing that happens when women over-explain. You lose your power. You see, there's power in restraint. There's power in silence. There's power in holding back just enough that a man has to work for it. When you constantly explain everything, you're basically saying, I'm here. I'm predictable. I'm safe. I'm available 24/7. And while being safe and available sounds nice, it doesn't create desire. Desire comes from challenge, from mystery, from the little things a man has to figure out on his own. That's why women who know how to hold something back, who don't over-explain, are the ones men can't stop thinking about. Let's talk about practical examples. Let's say he asked you why you didn't answer his text immediately. Now, some women will jump in and explain every reason. Maybe you were busy. Maybe your phone died. Maybe you didn't feel like talking. That's way too much. All he needs to know is a simple, confidential, like, I was busy, but I'm here now. Short, simple, no drama. No need to give him a play-by-play of your entire day. Because when you over-explain, you give him too much control. You're telling him, here, you decide what's acceptable and what's not. You get to dissect my every move. No. That's not how you stay in control. You stay in control by giving just enough to satisfy curiosity, but leaving him wanting more. Another example, let's talk about feelings. Let's say he asks how you feel about him. Now, a lot of women will start explaining every little thought that's crossed their mind since the day they met him. Well, I like you, but I don't know if I like you enough to do this or that. And sometimes I feel like this, and other times I feel like that. Stop it. Stop overcomplicating your feelings. Give him a straightforward answer that shows interest but keeps the intrigue. Something like, I like spending time with you. Let's see where this goes. That's it. Clean, simple, effective. And here's the thing, men, notice this. Men notice when you don't over-explain. They notice when you can hold a little mystery. They notice when you can smile, laugh, and say what you mean without giving away the whole map to your mind. And that's when the magic happens. That's when he starts thinking about you more, wondering what you're doing, wondering what you're thinking. And yes, starting to feel that pull, that addictive curiosity that keeps him coming back. Ladies, if you want a man to be addicted to you, to crave your attention, you have to learn the art of not over-explaining. You have to learn that your value isn't in telling him everything. Your value is in your presence, in your confidence, in your ability to make him think and feel without laying it all out for him. Keep some mystery. Keep some depth. Keep him guessing. And I promise you, he'll never want to let you go. And remember, this isn't about playing games. It's about knowing your worth. It's about understanding that you are not just available information. You are a person with layers, depth, and complexity. And the man who wants to be with you, he needs to earn access to all of it, not through manipulation, but simply by respecting you, by being patient, by being interested enough to chase. And when you practice this rule, don't over-explain yourself. You automatically create that environment where he can't help but be drawn to you. He can't help but think about you when you're not around. He can't help but wonder what's next, what you're thinking, what's happening in your life. And that curiosity, that's addictive, that's irresistible. That's the kind of pull you want him to feel. So stop giving it all away. Stop over-explaining. Keep the mystery alive. Keep him guessing. Let him chase. Let him work for your attention, because the woman who knows when to speak and when to hold back is the woman who men can't forget. And when he can't forget you, when he's thinking about you constantly, that's when you've got him hooked. Not because you tried too hard, not because you explained too much, but because you understood the power of saying just enough and leaving him wanting more. And that, my friends, is how you win the game without even trying too hard. Now listen, ladies, this is one that a lot of y'all mess up without even realizing it. I'm talking about letting a man miss you. I don't care how much you like him, how in love you feel, or how much you think you need to be there for him every second. If you don't let him miss you, you're going to lose that fire. See, here's the thing. Men don't work the same way women do. Men feel things differently. Men chase differently. And if you're constantly there, constantly available, constantly answering his calls and texts the second he sends them, you're giving him nothing to chase. You're giving him nothing to think about. And when a man doesn't have to chase, he starts taking you for granted. Now, I know some of you are saying, Steve, I'm not trying to play games. I just like him. I want to be with him. I want to show him I care. I get it. I hear you. But hear me too. You can show him you care without being there 24/7. You can show him you love him without being a constant presence. Because here's the truth. A man who really values you will respect your space. A man who really wants you will notice when you're not always at his disposal. A man who really cares will think about you when you're gone, and not just because he's bored. And that thinking, that longing, that desire he feels when he notices your absence, that's powerful. That's magnetic. That's how you get him addicted to you. Let me break it down for you. Say you're texting a man and he sends you a message. Some women respond immediately every single time, no matter what. They drop everything, even if they're in the middle of something important. And I'm not saying don't respond ever. I'm saying learn the art of timing. Respond when you can. Respond when it feels right, not just because your phone buzzed. Give him time to realize that you're not always available, that your attention is valuable. Because when you do that, he starts to think about you more than he normally would. He starts to notice the little things you do. He starts to remember your laugh, your smile, the way you carry yourself, and he begins to crave your presence. Another example, let's talk about weekends. A lot of women make themselves too available. Friday night comes, Saturday night comes, and suddenly you're free whenever he wants to hang out. No, stop that. Value your time. Have your own plans. Go out with your friends, do your hobbies, live your life. When he sees that you have a full, vibrant life and that he can't just pull you out of it whenever he wants, he starts to respect you more. He starts to think about you. He starts to feel that pull, that desire to be part of your world because he can't just have you on demand. And trust me, ladies, men notice that. Men are wired to notice a woman who has her own life, her own passions, her own energy that isn't centered around him 24/7. That's when the magic happens. That's when he misses you. And let me be real, missing you doesn't mean being manipulative. It doesn't mean ignoring him for no reason or playing silly games. It means being confident enough to live your life fully while still caring about him. It means knowing that your presence is valuable and that you don't have to constantly prove your worth. It's about creating a balance where he's not just chasing because he wants something from you, but chasing because he genuinely wants to be with you. When he misses you, he's not frustrated. He's intrigued. He's thinking. He's craving. That craving, that's addictive. Here's another tip. Don't always initiate conversations. Don't always be the one to text first or call first. Give him the chance to reach out to you. Give him the chance to think, where is she? What's she doing? Why hasn't she called me yet? When a man reaches out on his own, it means he's thinking about you. It means he's missing you. And that missing builds desire. It builds anticipation. It builds a hunger that only you can satisfy. And that, ladies, is powerful. Let's talk about social media for a second, because some of y'all get this twisted. Posting your whole life online all the time, showing him every little thing you're doing, every meal you're eating, every place you go. That doesn't make him miss you. That makes you available 24/7 in a digital way, and that, my friends, is just like over-explaining yourself. It kills the mystery. It kills the pull. Instead, post selectively, show glimpses. Make him wonder what you're really up to. Make him think, I wonder what she's doing right now. That curiosity will pull him toward you more than constant updates ever could. Now, some women get scared of letting a man miss them because they think if they're not always there, he'll lose interest. Let me tell you something, if he loses interest when you give him space, then he wasn't the right one to begin with. The right man will notice your absence. He'll value your presence. He'll chase you in a way that's healthy, respectful, and intentional. And when you let him miss you, you're teaching him how to appreciate you fully, how to desire you fully, and how to respect the fact that you're not just always there on demand. And here's the kicker, ladies, letting him miss you doesn't mean ignoring him completely. It doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being intentional with your time and attention. It means choosing when to engage and when to step back. It means giving him a taste of your energy and presence, and then letting him sit with that feeling for a while. That anticipation makes every interaction more meaningful, every moment together more electric, and every conversation more impactful. I want you to really understand this. Desire grows in absence. Attraction grows when there's space to breathe. Love deepens when a man realizes you're not just there to be consumed. And when he misses you, when he thinks about you, when you're not around, When he feels that pull in his chest that makes him want to be near you, that's when he becomes addicted. Not to manipulation, not to games, but to you, the real, confident, mysterious, powerful woman who knows her worth and isn't afraid to let him earn her attention. So ladies, stop being too available. Stop giving him everything at once. Value your time. Value your energy. And let him experience the power of missing you. Because when a man misses you, when he thinks about you constantly, when he craves your presence, that's when you have him hooked, not by trying too hard, but by being smart, confident, and intentionally present. That, my friends, is how you get him addicted to you like crazy. And it all starts with letting him miss you. Now, ladies, let's talk about something most of you don't realize is one of the most powerful tools you have in a relationship: speaking less and listening more. I know you're probably thinking, Steve, I have all these thoughts, feelings, ideas, I want to share them. And I get it. Women love to talk. That's natural. But let me tell you something, talking too much too soon or without purpose can actually push a man away without you even realizing it. See, men process things differently. Men don't always want a lecture, a story, or an explanation. What men want more than anything is to feel understood, to feel heard, and to feel like you genuinely care about what they're saying. And the only way you do that is by listening more than you speak. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should never speak or never share your thoughts. No. What I'm saying is that every word you speak should have weight. Every sentence should matter. Every conversation should be intentional. Because here's the truth. When you speak less and listen more, you're giving him space to reveal who he really is. You're letting him open up about his dreams, his fears, his struggles, and his triumphs without feeling like he's being judged or corrected or interrupted. And when a man feels that kind of understanding, that kind of validation, he starts to connect with you on a deeper level. He starts to crave your presence. He starts to think, I need her in my life. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're on a date with a man and he's telling you about his day, something he worked hard on, or maybe even a problem he's facing. Some women will immediately jump in with their own story, their own experience, or their own opinion. And before you know it, the conversation is no longer about him, it's about you. And that, ladies, is a mistake. That's a fast way to kill attraction. Instead, pause, listen, ask questions that show genuine interest. Make him feel like he's the center of attention for a few minutes. That doesn't mean you're being fake. It means you're being smart. You're creating an environment where he feels valued, respected, and understood. And when a man feels that with you, he starts to crave that feeling more and more. Another important thing to understand about speaking less and listening more is that it creates mystery. I know we've talked about mystery before, but let me break it down in a different way. When you don't spill everything about yourself in one conversation, when you listen more than you talk, it keeps him wondering about what you're thinking, how you feel, and what's really going on inside your head. That curiosity builds attraction, ladies. Men are wired to be intrigued by a woman they can't completely figure out. A woman who holds some of her thoughts and emotions close. And when you combine that intrigue with genuine listening, you become irresistible. You're not just someone he's dating. You're someone he's fascinated by. And let's talk about empathy for a second. Because listening more isn't just about hearing words. It's about feeling what he feels. When he talks about a challenge at work or a personal struggle, don't just nod and say, I understand. Really feel it. Really respond in a way that shows you're present. A simple, wow, that sounds tough, or I can see why that would frustrate you. Can go further than a 10-minute speech about your own experiences. Men don't want advice all the time. They want understanding. They want to feel like you're in their corner. that you're rooting for them, that you genuinely care. And when you give that to him through listening, he starts to value you in a way that goes beyond physical attraction. He starts to feel emotionally connected, and emotional connection is what makes him addicted to your presence. Now, here's a practical tip when he's talking. Repeat back what you heard in your own words, but keep it simple. Something like, so you're saying that this project at work has been really stressful for you. That lets him know you're paying attention without turning the conversation into an interrogation or a debate. It also shows that you're present and engaged, which is far more attractive than dominating the conversation with your own stories. And ladies, men notice this. Men don't always say it, but they feel it. When they leave a conversation feeling understood, appreciated, and respected, they remember that feeling. They want to experience it again. They want more of you. And that, my friends, is how you make a man addicted through the simple act of listening. Another thing that happens when you speak less and listen more is that it gives you power in the relationship. I know that word power might make some of you all uncomfortable, but it's true. When you're always talking, always explaining, always giving away your thoughts, you're basically handing him the reins. But when you listen more, when you speak strategically, you're creating an environment where he's chasing not just your attention, but your mind. He's drawn to your presence. He's intrigued by your thoughts. He's fascinated by your perspective. And that fascination, that's powerful. That's magnetic. That's addictive. Let me tell you one more thing. Silence is a big part of this rule too. When you listen more than you speak, you're allowing moments of silence to exist in your conversations. And silence is powerful. Silence gives him space to think, to process, to feel. It gives him room to reflect on what you just said. And it gives him a chance to miss your voice when it's gone. Silence combined with listening is like a magnet. It pulls him in without you having to do anything flashy. He's drawn to you because of the depth, the calm, the focus, and the presence you bring. And trust me, ladies, that kind of pull is addictive. So ladies, remember this. Speaking less and listening more isn't about being quiet or passive. It's about being intentional, being present, and giving a man the space to open up, to feel understood, and to connect with you on a deeper level. It's about creating attraction through attention, curiosity, and empathy. It's about making every word you speak count so that when you do speak, he's fully engaged, fully invested, and fully captivated by you. And the beautiful thing is, when you master this rule, it changes everything. Conversations become more meaningful. Interactions become more magnetic. Emotional connection grows, and so does desire. He starts thinking about you constantly, wondering what you're doing, what you are thinking, and how he can experience more of that connection with you. That, ladies, is the kind of addiction we're talking about. Not desperate, not clingy, but powerful, confident, and magnetic. And it all starts with learning to speak less and listen more. Now, ladies, if you want a man to be truly addicted to you, you've got to understand something very simple. Actions speak louder than words. You can say all the sweet things in the world. You can text him good morning every day. You can't tell him how amazing he is. But if your actions don't match what you say, it's all empty. Men are not wired to fall for words alone. They fall for behavior. They fall for what they see, what they feel, and how your presence impacts their life. And when your actions show consistency, confidence, and care, that's when he starts craving you like crazy. Now, I know some of y'all are thinking, Steve, I show him I care by texting, by calling, by telling him all the nice things. That's good. I'm not saying don't do it. But here's the difference. Showing up with your actions is about doing things that demonstrate your worth without needing to say a word. For example, let's say he's going through a rough day at work. Instead of sending a long text about how you understand, or giving him a 20-minute lecture about stress management, you could do something as simple as dropping off his favorite snack, sending a thoughtful note, or even just being there in person to sit quietly with him. That's action. That's presence. And that's powerful. Men notice these things, even if they don't say it out loud. They feel it, and they remember it. Let me give you another example. Let's talk about reliability. Nothing makes a man respect and value a woman more than someone who follows through on what she says she's going to do. If you promise to meet him at a certain time, be there. If you say you're going to support him in something, actually do it. This isn't about being a servant or bending over backward. It's about showing integrity through your actions. When he sees that you're dependable, that you live by your word, he can't help but trust you more. And trust, ladies, is one of the strongest factors in making a man addicted to you. Without it, even the sweetest words fall flat. Now, some women get caught up in trying to impress a man with words alone. They'll say, I love you, or I care about you, but if their actions don't reflect it, those words mean nothing. Men are observant in ways women sometimes overlook. They watch how you treat others, how you handle stress, how you show up in different situations. A kind word here, a supportive gesture there, consistency in your behavior, these things speak volumes more than texts and compliments ever could. And when your actions are aligned with your words, you create a magnetic pull that's irresistible. He begins to see that you're not just talking about being someone special, you actually are someone special. Let's talk about boundaries for a second. Actions aren't just about positive reinforcement, they're also about showing what you will and won't tolerate. If you respect yourself and your time and you make that clear through your actions, he starts to value you more. For instance, if you need your own space, your own time, or your own hobbies, and you honor that consistently, he will notice. He will respect that. He will see that you're not just anyone he can have whenever he wants. You are a woman with standards, and standards are powerful. Men are naturally drawn to women with standards because it signals strength, independence, and self-respect, all of which